Just become present. And just relax. I know these chairs are not the most comfortable ones you've ever sat at being here. But if you can just straighten your spine. If your legs are not short like mine, put your feet flat on the floor. If they're short like mine, the balls of your feet like that. And dropping in, becoming present. Allowing yourself to just put all of your thoughts aside. Moving away from all of the trance-like, repetitive thoughts and programs in your mind, and just becoming present that you're here today, thanking yourself for keeping your divine appointment. Allowing the sounds of the didgeridoo to bring you center, and allow your cells of your body to hear the sounds of the wood and the tones. Remembering the Latin word for breath is inspiro, meaning spirit comes when we breathe. Dropping your shoulders, elongating your neck. We're going to do 3 rounds of the sacred Ho'oponopono, breathing. We take a breath in for a count of 7. Hold it for a count of 7. Slowly exhale again for a count of 7. And finally, holding the exhale of 7, and we'll repeat this 3 times. Breathing in for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale in slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And hold the empty. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And in. Hold. And exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold the empty. And breathing just normally. You just had the equivalent of a good 20-minute meditation, just doing that breathing in and out. If you'd like to practice that at home, do the rounds of 7 for 7 times. But for now, feeling the breath of life in your lungs, look to your chest with your internal eye and see at the heart space center a beautiful green, emerald, purple, gold, silver white light at the heart space energy. Recognize and know that your heart space energy expands beyond your physical body into the energetic body, the emotional body, and the mental body, going well beyond your physical body. Imagine it beautiful, clean, clear, bright, shining, all the colors of the rainbow that make up your auric field. Feel how strong and clear and bright it is. Now imagine energy going from your heart space down to your hips, to your thighs, your knees, your feet, leaving the bottom of your feet, going through the floor all the way down into the earth, through the core, into the earth's mantle, going deep, deep. Keep on saying that energy. Go all the way to the center of the earth, the heart of Gaia, the black crystal that grounds, centers, and keeps the earth centered on her axis, moving energetically with grace. As you touch the center crystal at the heart of the earth, do we ground? Grounding in this way allows us to reach the ethers, space energy going all the way up. See it going out of the roof, top of your head, and through the roof of this building, up into the Earth's atmosphere, into our own star system, and into galaxies beyond. Do we recognize that our heart space energy, that divine light within us, that temple, we are a temple, our body is a gathering place. We are a temple of light. The temple of light is within our heart space energy. See it expanding and going all the way into the farthest reaches of every star and planet in the Milky Way, all 400 billion of them. Now do we recognize in our conscious thought process the vastness, the unlimitlessness of who we are and what we are. We are beings of light. We live in multi-dimensional, different time, different space. We expand into many paradigms, many vibrations, and yet we are conscious of the one that we are in here on this third-dimensional, beautiful green and blue planet called Gaia. We recognize the singularity and the multi-dimensional aspects as they coexist together, and we know this is true. We feel our heart space energy expanding and expanding, and as our crown and our root chakras are completely open, extending into the universe, connecting with Earth via the heart space energy, our auric field is now stronger, brighter. And with your hands, imagine the Earth. And put your hands up and hold energy. Just put your hands in front of you where your heart space is. And as you imagine the Earth, now that your heart is open, send loving energy to Mother Earth. All of her beings, all her humans, animals, energetic beings, life force energy, the mountains, the deserts, the oceans, the lake, the plants, the trees, the forests, all life form on Earth, with your heart space open and your connection to the universe. Bring this heart space loving energy into the Earth. And as we say our prayer, that all living beings of creation live in peace, love, and joy, as said in the poetic vernacular of Sanskrit, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Repeating please, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And so it is. And we say our heartfelt prayer that all living beings of creation live in peace, love, and joy. And we create with this prayer, this setting of intention, an earth space energy where brotherhood and sisterhood prevail. We work together with joint clean energy, joint commerce, joint governing, with respect for all life forms in every form. And this intention we set, and so it is. Allowing your hands to come back into your lap, gently and gracefully. And whenever you're ready, you can come back to the room and slowly open your eyes, keeping all of this beautiful energy with you as you stay present here. Lean back. So sorry to bring you back after taking you out there. I keep waving a saber that we're going to have a meditation day where we just open it. Maybe now that we have the Hall of Light, we can have a whole day of meditation. I have this vision where we, on the hour, every hour, we open a meditation. At the end of the hour, take a 10-minute break so you can kind of come in all day and stay for 1 hour session, or stay all day if you want to, a 4 or 5 hour session. Take a break and come back for one. So welcome to Buddha's Loft. This is a very sacred room. We have bamboo flooring in here, and thank you for removing your shoes. We're making a commitment to keep the energy in here in alignment with the Asian tradition of not bringing in the energy from the bottom of our feet into the room. So this will be a no-shoe zone, this room only. And thank you for those of you with crutches for making your way up the stairs. We will in the future be in the room downstairs, but since the topic for today is Quan Yin, it seemed appropriate to be up here in the Buddha's Loft. We had an event in here last night and we rented all of these chairs, so I thought it would be fun to be up here. Renee Devereaux is here. Devereaux is here in the audience today. She's got a class in here this afternoon, so we'll be breaking down the chairs and restoring this back to an expressive room.
Thank you.
So if you, it's at 1:30? 1 o'clock.
1 to 3. 1 to 3.
So if you feel like coming back and staying inside air conditioning, you're welcome to, rather than go out there and brave the heat, come back and join us. So Quan Yin was the energy that I wanted to bring in today. I didn't know who she was when I first started studying. I was taking a class over in Costa Mesa, which is now Ginger's Gardens. At the time it was simply called a wellness center, and it was run by a few people. Barbara Miles, who is the current manager of Awakenings, was one of them. She was my first mentor as I started this journey of discovering my own personal spirituality. And I took a Wednesday night psychic development class with her. And I had heard of reading tea leaves, and I happened to have had a cup of tea that night, and there were loose teas in the bottom of the cup. And I looked down at the bottom and I saw completely and totally clearly the image of a dragon. Not knowing at the time that that was the energy of Quan Yin, about 20 minutes after that, when we started our meditation, as I was sitting on the floor during the deep meditation that Barbara Miles is always so signature, famous for taking, during the meditation I felt my hands moving, and all of a sudden it was like she was giving me these symbols, and I was feeling my hands move in these graceful ways, and I felt her energy, and I saw this beautiful image of this Asian woman standing in front of me. And I painted her. There's a painting in my office, for those of you that may or may not have seen it, and it is Quan Yin, and I painted that from the memory of the image of that meditation. And I found out afterwards that she always comes on a dragon, and that was why I had seen the dragon image in the loose teas in the bottom of my cup. So she's been a part of my journey right from the beginning. She is a bodhisattva. She could have ascended into state of nirvana as a Buddha, but she chose to stay here to help all of those that are suffering and in pain. She is the equivalent of the Virgin Guadalupe or the Mother Mary. She's a female energy who comes here to help those who suffer. And as I did a little bit of research on her, Wikipedia is always the first one that comes up, but I do look at other sites as well. And the most intriguing story I found was that there was a woman that she was supposedly the incarnation of as a princess in China, Liu Shan, and she was one of 3 daughters of a very, very wealthy emperor, and he had set her to marry another wealthy king in a different province. And she didn't want this marriage, just being a wealthy queen. She was very devout and liked helping people. And she told her father that she would marry him if the marriage would provide 3 things. Intrigued, he asked her what those 3 things were, and she said that if this marriage would survive to help all of those who are ill, and the second condition was that the marriage, that it would provide ease of suffering to those who are aged. And the third item was that it would provide ease of suffering for those of the ones that have lost somebody when there's been death in the family. And her king, her father, became very angry, and he said, what such person could do these 3 things? And she said, a healer could. He became very angry that she wanted to marry a healer rather than another wealthy person. And so he punished her and kept food and water from her to try and discipline her to do things his way. She refused, and every day begged him if she could go and join a monastery where she could help those that were suffering. So he obliged her, and he sent her to a monastery, but he instructed the monks to give her work all day and all night with very little food, thinking he could persuade her what an awful life this was. But she did all of the work, and she did everything that she could. And in the end, he was so frustrated, he decided to execute her. Some of the stories vary. Some say that she was executed and rised immediately to the state of bodhisattva. Others say that the executioner couldn't bear to do it, and others say in the end that the king couldn't bear to do it. So there are various stories as to what actually happened in the end, but suffice it to say her father wasn't happy with her choice to spend and devote her life to that of the ease of suffering of other people. And so the legends say that this is the Quan Yin, that it is the energy of this one woman who defied her father, which in ancient, this is 400 BC, in ancient times of this in China, defiance was not something someone of her stature would have done. And so it took great courage and compassion of human beings to defy her father in that way. And that's the energy that she brings to us. She's devoted her life to help those who are in pain and suffering. So we're going to bring her energy in. We're going to ask her to be with us. And we're going to bring in her love and her light and her devotion and her unconditional, unwavering spirit. And I'd like to thank her because she's been on this journey with me. Where are my guys? You guys?
Clean coffee bean.
Some coffee bean, it works. Okay, there has to be a rule here that my Kleenex has to be up here on the table. You add that to your to-do list. I try not to have this happen, it just does. Oh, bless you, Pearl, thank you.
I always carry them.
Union rules, we have to carry Kleenex, so. I do apologize, I try, I feel them coming and I try to hold on to it, they just come out. There's just so much emotion with working with Quan Yin. Her energy is so incredibly gentle and loving and kind. And this is what we strive for here. I use this phrase, non-judgmental discernment. And even as I use this phrase, even more and more, it goes in deeper for me each time. And I know that each of us understand the word non-judgmental, only each of us understand the word discernment. Non-judgmental. To truly look at another person and see their behavior, their life, their choices, the decisions that they've made, understanding it is their journey, it's their struggle, it's their karma, it's the solution that they are trying to find. Each of us decides what it is that we want our souls to understand in this lifetime. And to make that journey, we have to put situations around us that we can work through. So if someone is born to a family that doesn't give them love, and so they are not a very loving person, is it for us to look at them and say, oh, that person is so gruff? Why would we judge somebody for the journey that they've chosen, the avenues that they want to take, to go beyond what it is in their situation, to arrive at a state of consciousness? Can you actually see the irony in judging somebody's personal soul journey? They have to put those things in their life, as do we, in order to be able to move beyond them. And I know sometimes we're in our own space and we go through our day and somebody comes to us and maybe they're unkind and maybe they're impatient, and our first response is to scoff at them or be unhappy. But what if we could really just pause for a moment and understand they're doing the best that they can with the tools that they have in that moment in order for them to take the journey that they pre-designed in order to expand their soul. Now you get to, once you have gotten into a place of non-judgmental observation, now you get to discern, to decide, to be in wisdom, whether or not you want to be around them. And you discern, this person is going to be my BFF. I like them. I want to be around them. I want to hang out with them. They feel good to me. I'm learning something from them. We have a symbiotic, reciprocal way of being with each other, and I can hang out with them. Or, that's not my journey. That doesn't feel good. I don't like the way I feel when I'm around them. I'm going to discern not to spend time with them. But we must, in that state of discernment, maintain our non-judgmental observation of their journey. Non-judgmental discernment. Add kindness to that from the Dalai Lama, and you've got a personal philosophy, a way of life that will serve you at every single turn. You've just written a spiritual Bible. Kindness and non-judgmental discernment. It's the only tool you need. Just allow people their space. If it doesn't feel good, don't spend that much time with them. Take them in small doses. But be in a state of observation where you're honoring their journey. It is not our right to decide that somebody chose a journey that we don't like. It's not for us to decide what they need to learn and how and when and with what person. So we just be, and we let them be. And if they don't understand us, if they discern to be away from us, don't take that personally. We chose our vision. We chose our journey. We chose our family and our situation and everything about us that we wanted to expand our soul. And if somebody doesn't feel good being around us because that's our journey, then they're just engaging in non-judgmental discernment as well. And if they can't engage in non-judgmental discernment, if you feel as though they are judging you, then allow them that they haven't yet reached the place of being non-judgmental, and don't judge them for not being able to be non-judgmental. It's a higher calling. It's a way to start really putting yourself in a place of growth. It is our divine responsibility to become conscious of who we are and what we are, and to work through those human aspects that keep us in what Daniel O'Hara called last night a trance state, meaning where we've got all that programming looping around. Call it triggered, call it trance. So anything that stops you from being completely present and conscious of who you are and what you are, anything outside of being centered is a triggered state, a trance state, not being in the now, getting caught up in the future and the past, anything that keeps us out from just being, looking around the room and seeing all your smiling faces. There's nothing in my mind right now. and allowing the information to come through me to connect with you. I'm not thinking about what I had for breakfast or what I'm going to have for lunch or what I'm going to wear tomorrow. I'm just here with you in this place. And it's beginning to get better. I woke up this morning and usually the first thing I do is I start working. And so a lot of times I have to hurry up and get into my meditative position before I allow my mind to grow off like a supersonic Japanese speed bullet plane going into 1,001 to-do lists. But I woke up this morning and I said to myself, I don't have anything I need to think about. I went, whoa. I've never said that to myself before. But I heard myself thinking, I don't have anything I have to think about. Everything is handled. The temple is beautiful, it's here, it's open, everything is going to be perfect, all the classes are coming in, everything is filling up. I thought having a temple 3 times the size was going to be 3 times the amount of work. It's fine. It's turning out to be like 1/3. It's amazing how it's all just coming together. And I woke up this morning and I thought, I don't have anything to work out. I don't have a to-do list to go through. And I went, I'm just going to sit here for a second. Felt amazing. Does anybody do that? Is that just me that struggled with that all my life? Does anybody else just wake up and, no, not one taker? Try it. Years ago, I went to see venerated Reverend Michael Beckwith. A couple of friends and I, before I started doing Sunday services here, we took a field trip up to Agape because I wanted to sit in his presence and feel like what it was like to be around this man who reaches 9,000 people every Sunday through his Sunday services and his streaming. And he was talking about a woman who was manifesting that she needed some things. And he said God came into her and said, what do you need? And she said, well, I need rent money and I need gas money and I need money for this. And he said, but what do you need right now? And she said, well, right now I need rent money. He said, no. He said, what do you need right now? In this very second. And she finally said, right now, in this very moment, I have everything I need. Right now, in this very moment, as you're all sitting here, you've got a roof over your head, air conditioning, clothes on your back, a comfortable chair to sit in, and you're in a safe place with kindred spirits. Right now, in this very moment, you have absolutely everything you need. And 5 minutes from now, you'll have absolutely everything you need. And when you live your life like that, moment to moment, knowing you always have something that you need, then you live without fear, and genius can come in. It's the emotions that cloud up. It's like having too many programs on your hard drive. After a while, it slows down and can even crash. Pull out the programs that aren't there for the maximum efficiency and see how fast your computer starts running. When you clear out the emotions that bring you down and don't keep you present, this state of mind, this consciousness comes in. You can hear spirit. You can hear your higher self. You can hear your own feelings. You can hear your deceased loved ones, your guides, your guardian angels, the universe intelligence. You can hear everything that's out there when that tape starts running. Become aware of it. And when you can do that, and then you can open your heart, this compassion floods. I was speaking to someone yesterday who was going through a trying period in their life. And this person was really upset at another person. And I was coaching and saying, can you not feel compassion for this person? But all this other person wanted to do was take their actions personally. They couldn't get to a place where they had compassion for what the other person was going through. They could only see how that person's actions were affecting them. And they were in a state of highly, highly charged judgment. And after about an hour, I was exacerbated and gave up, but I think the point finally went in towards the end. We are so accustomed to taking things personally. And I was sharing a story that my husband, before our little one, was married for 10 years to a lovely British man named John, who's the father of my 2 daughters. And he was an alcoholic. And for 10 years, I took his alcoholism personally. And I started saying statements like, if he loved me, he would do this. If he loved his family, he would stop. If we were important enough to him, he wouldn't do that. I took his weakness personally, and I got angry that he wouldn't stop for us. Did I gain anything from it? All I did was contribute anger to an already bad situation. It's so easy for us to take the actions of other people personally. It wasn't personal. He did the best he could with the tools that he had, with who he was. And although he found a coping mechanism that was not to his highest and best good, I only had one option. Since he couldn't stop it, I discerned not to be in his life anymore. And I took a non-judgmental, empowered action to discern, to separate myself from someone that couldn't climb their own way out of the hole. And we have a great friendship now, and we have a good relationship. But it was because I was in non-judgmental discernment. That's the only way that we can allow our own soul to grow. Compassion. Compassion is the beginning of non-judgment. Compassion for yourself is where you get discernment, and compassion for the other person is where you get non-judgmental. And so Quan Yin is one way. There are many ways. We can call in many different deities, different archangels, ascended masters, teachers. But Quan Yin, she's the embodiment of compassion. And so we're going to call her in now. So go ahead and get comfortable, and Seth's going to tone for us when we call her in. I thought of you yesterday. I was in Laguna Beach dropping off our magazines, and there was a wonderful Tibetan gift store in Laguna Beach. If you've never been there, it's on Forest, right next to the post office. It used to be the old Chakra Shack. And they have beautiful rugs and blouses and skirts and shawls and singing bowls, and I saw the little bells. I almost got them for you. I was going to say that'd be fun to do here. So please go and support the store as they import all of their handicrafts from Tibet. It's a beautiful little store, and they've got music and all kinds of plaques and posters of famous quotes from the Dalai Lama. So I thought of the little bells. I'm going to get them for you next time. So let's invite Quan Yin into our hearts. Breathing. We call on the Bodhisattva Quan Yin. We ask for her presence. Come into our hearts. Come into our space. Show us your ways. Share with us the embodiment of complete and total compassion for all living beings on earth, and in all realms, all space, all time, all vibration, all dimensions. There is only one true emotion that carries the waves of the universe in its infinite energy, and that is love. And love is the embodiment of compassion. Bringing into our hearts and our minds the universal truth of what compassion looks like, feels like, how to have it in our lives, how to give it to ourselves, how to have it as be part of our being in every way, in every waking moment, starting with compassion for ourselves, knowing what we need, what we want, how we work, what our life is like. Compassion for our own being. This means self-care, both physically and emotionally. It also means being in a state of non-judgment for our own being, our own actions. Knowing that whenever we falter or engage in a behavior or a thought form that we deem to be less than divine, that we allow ourselves to remember that we are in a human body and we sometimes forget our connection to divine. And it is only through this temporary forgetfulness of our divine being do we act in ways that we would normally self-reproach. And so we ask ourselves now, rather than self-reproach and be in a state of self-judgment, do we simply open our hearts to our own being and forgive ourselves for forgetting for that brief moment our divine nature. As we do this for ourselves, how easy and graceful and swift it is to be able to do this for others. Self-compassion seeds compassion for others. Continued practice of self-compassion allows compassion for others to grow and take roots and expand like a 1,000-year-old oak tree, steady, strong, everlasting, ever-present. Taking the words and the feelings of compassion, allowing it to dance in our hearts, imprint its intelligence into our DNA, so that every cell of our body, every thought that we create, every emotion we experience, every feeling we embody has compassion at its very root. And do we send compassion out now to all of those who are suffering, either emotionally, physically, financially, in whatever way someone suffers? Do we send them compassion? And we see their suffering rather than the behavior that is resulting from their suffering. With compassion, we wade through behavior and see the pain of the person behind it, and we connect our hearts to theirs. And maintaining our own wisdom and our own self-compassion, do we then engage in non-judgmental discernment to stay in their energy or to pull away once we have delivered our compassion. Indifferent, without any judgment to their situation, we send love and light to all creatures in the universe, all living beings. Any creature of creation, do we send love and joy and compassion? And we absolutely, in every way, include ourselves in this prayer. Compassion must come from within to expand it out into the outer realms of our being. Imagine the compassion in your heart now going out thousands of miles in every direction. Know the power of the shift in the planetary cosmos when you do this, when you create this. See the beauty of who you are and what you are in every way, in every shape and divine creation, capable of magnificent levels of compassion and devotion to our own sacred divine beings. When we step into this place of power, where we know there are no limits, we go beyond what even our own imaginations can comprehend. This intelligence, this universal energy of love and light that has so many names: God, Allah, Great Spirit, Creator of all that is, Atanaha, and yet, on so many levels, remains nameless. But it's in our heart, and we know there is something there. We know it's true, even though we may not always have words to express it. We know it's truth, and so it is. And we ask Quan Yin to be with us as we walk this journey, reminding us to show us her ways, show us the devotion to all who suffer, taking her ways into our heart, asking her to walk this journey with us and be with us always, feeling her love, her complete and total unselfish devotion to easing the suffering of all who we encounter, and all of those who we do not yet encounter. Thanking your presence, Quan Yin, thank you for being here. Feeling your love going into our hearts, feeling your presence all around us. We thank you for being here and sharing your ways with us today. Just gently coming back to the room whenever you're ready. Did anybody feel her around you? I felt like this warm, fuzzy blanket was just around my shoulders and my heart. It's an incredibly gentle energy. When we call divine beings of light like that to come in, it's important to remember they are not bringing us something that only by calling them in do we have the ability to have. But rather, when we call them in, it reminds us of who we are. We have that ability right here in our hearts to generate the same love and compassion and divine being that in our human capacity we often forget. So we call in our guides and our guardian angels and the archangels and the ascended masters and the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the ascended ones to remind us what that feels like, so that we can remember to embrace it and generate it right here in our heart space. They do not bring us something that we don't have. They don't loan us something that we don't have the ability to create in and of ourselves. They simply loan us the memory and the confidence so that we can do that ourselves. We are divine beings of light. Remember who you are. Thank you. saw somebody sitting behind Ben's. He flitted away. There's somebody behind you. Feels like your mother. Did she come and visit you? Yeah. It felt like your mother was sitting behind you.
She's around sometimes.
Yeah. There was a female person. I actually thought it was a being at first. I don't remember somebody sitting there. She left as soon as I saw her. As soon as Chaz comes back, he's going to give out the giving hand flowers. He's not back yet. Take your time. I'm going to put some ankle weights on him. Tanya, our executive director, is here. Tanya, wave your hand. There, this is Tanya. She's our executive director. This is Seth Pincus. He's our staff person here on Sundays and helps us with facility management now that we're in the new location. And we got a couple of board members here, and there's Arlavon, raise your hand. He's treasurer, also my husband. And Ron Zimmer over here, he's on our board. So thank you for all of you that are here that support us in every way. So nice to see all of our regular people here, and some people that we haven't seen in a long time. Welcome back, Barbara. And some, hi Laurie, come on. And some new people, welcome. Please come up and introduce yourself to me. If I haven't met you before, welcome to being here. That's okay, don't be sorry, come on in. So this is our Buddha's Loft. This room is where we plan on having yoga sessions. And Tanya's going to help me if I forget some of them. But we have on Wednesday, Nam Yoga. We also have on Tuesday and Thursday, a yoga for women only. What time is that?
9:30.
9:30 in the morning. And we have a crystal healing yoga with Dina. And that's going to be on what day?
Dina is Tuesday at noon.
Tuesday at noon. So we're attempting to build in this room a full schedule of expressive dance, qigong, and yoga. And that's what this room is going to be for. In the evening classes, there'll be a beautiful sunset over this mountain. So it's a lovely room. It's the only second floor room that we have, and we have this beautiful bamboo that Tanya and myself and Julie and Vansel and Jesse and Uai and Tanya's husband Brent, we all came up here and we hauled up wood and laid down plastic and we fit these little puppies together. And thank you, Joe Lansfield, for getting us the floor at cost. He just went directly to his supplier in Los Angeles, so we laid this floor for $1.20 a square foot, which is just unheard of. And thank you for Vintage Bowman, who has got all of her beautiful artwork here that is actually ready for purchase, and so we've displayed it up here. Downstairs, the Hall of Light, which will seat 200, which we hope will be ready next week. And we've got on order 200 beautiful lavender-colored chairs. And that's a 24-foot ceiling with natural light in there. And we'll be putting some murals on the wall to support our interfaith, trans-denominational position. We are Orange County's only interfaith church. There are many interfaith councils where different churches belong. We are Orange County's only true interfaith church, where we honor all belief systems here, recognizing them each individually as that which supports the road home to Dharma, to consciousness, to universal love and light. It's like wearing the same clothes every day. Why would you do that when you can change different outfits? We enjoy exploring all of the different ways in which the cultures throughout time and history have found spirit. And as you build on them and as you explore each of them, does your resolve to know that you are a divine being of light become stronger? Many of these different practices have been around for a long, thousands and thousands of years and have a lot of wisdom to partake upon. We have 12 days of light coming up, starting on December 1st. Seth and his lovely band called Pranam World Music will be kicking off on December 1st in the evening after our Holistic Healing Fair that day. Every day after that, for 12 days, there is something fun and exciting going on. Crystal grids, intentions, meditation, and we'll be finishing on December 12th, on 12/12 on a Wednesday night with Shakti Tribe. You can buy each individual event, but we're going to be putting a package together where there's a 50% discount if you buy all 12 events. That way you can just kind of weave in and out and do whatever you want. If you have a day job, take a few days off work and have some fun. The evening events, during the week the events will be in the evening. But on Wednesday on 12/12, it's going to be a great day. So it's all about fun. Tanya and I and Alyssa and Seth, we are busy putting together an amazing schedule of classes. We have Ananda meditation on Thursday nights. The Self-Realization Fellowship is now here on Saturday mornings and also on Wednesday evenings. We have the Academy of Light, which is a school for holistic healing practitioners that I've put together. Then we have consciousness mastery classes, intuitive anatomy. This coming Saturday on September 22nd, I'm teaching a class called The Conscious Practitioner. It's a $150 value. It's free. I make it free because it's important. Hi, come on in. Somebody's sticking their head around the corner. Hi, JC, come on in. Could you take your shoes off, please? Thanks. It's an all-day class, and I'll be putting on my CPA hat, as well as my holistic healing hat, as well as my director hat of the Temple of Light, and bringing to you the wealth of the past 30 years of my experience of how to run a business, how to market it, how to do it as a holistic practitioner, how to be an enlightened entrepreneur. So if any of you have a holistic healing practice, would like to start one, even if you've got a practice that is not a holistic healing, even if you have a day job, this is a wonderful course to come to learn how to express who you are and take your own business or your own employment up to the next level. It's called The Conscious Practitioner. It's Saturday the 22nd from 10 to 6. I have no idea what room we're going to be in. You'll find out when you come to the door. We'll give you a map. But it's this coming Saturday from 10 to 6. All you have to do is call an RSVP. There's plenty of room. It's a free class. I encourage you to come. Anything else you want to announce?
Yeah, a couple more new classes. On Wednesday, we're having Qigong twice a day.
Oh, Qigong is twice a day with Sun Yu. She drives all the way from Apple Valley. It's at noon and
At noon and 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
And then also this afternoon at 1 p.m. we're having Renee Devereaux with dance, artistry, and self-expression.
Dance, artistry, and self-expression, that's right. And on the first Sunday we have John Salat with his expressive dance. So we hope to add as many yoga, qigong, and dance classes so that there is something. This room is just happening, and the floor is hot from having so many people on it. If there's any classes you would like to see here, any events, please let us know. We'd be happy to contact the instructors, or if you are an instructor. Daniel O'Hara was here last night. He's going to be doing his Super Saturdays here on a regular basis, and we're hoping to get him here on his regular Thursdays as well. But we are a place that we honor all beliefs, all ways to find spirit. There is no one way. Even people raised in the same culture, raised in the same house, can walk a path to find spirit. Everybody has their own personal journey. And as Reverend Arpad Patras of the Southern California Center for Spiritual Living says, I love his quote, that finding spirit is a very personal journey, but it doesn't have to be one that you do alone. So do it here together with community, but each of your journeys individually is your own way, your own path. You believe what it is that you want to believe, and accept words and ways and mantras that make sense to you personally. It blocks you from finding spirit if there's something that you discern not to make sense. Use your own self